Sup shredders, my name is Logan aka Spiderhands and welcome to SP Reviews, where today we have ourselves a track from an act named Danjul or Danjul titled Drama, and if we switch over to Spotify, I'm big down here, I'll go small in a second up in the corner. I've listened to Danjul before. I've been hearing some pretty cool stuff about this guy. He's been getting a fair bit of really positive press recently, in a lot of different magazines and stuff like that. He's been getting a bit of attention from websites like Vents magazine and stuff like that. Danjul is an emerging singer-songwriter from Los Angeles, California. He has a sound that is intricate yet appealing. The craftsman has a fondness for old-style music and epic instrumental scores. Michael Jackson, I do remember when I listened to Danjul a while back, I remember the Michael Jackson being listed as one of the influences. It's his role model and he wants to be as great as him one day. The songs that he creates are reflections of the hardships he's faced in his life. He has been deceived many times by the girls who have broken his heart. Okay, and one more. Just before we go to the song, music is Danjul's passion and he sings with his heart and soul. Young boys, girls who have been deceived by the people they loved can relate their real life situation with his songs. His music is a source of comfort for his fans and listeners, which provides them hope and courage to deal with such situations. I'm not trying to blow smoke up anybody's whatever, it's just my understanding is that he's getting a fair bit of positive press, and I think it's good to appreciate that. With 10k views on a track, that's not especially easy to do, especially considering this is Danjul's debut single through Bentley Records, which is, again, congratulations on being signed. That's fantastic. So we're going to listen to this track from start till finish, and we're going to hear what we think. Let's go. Drama. Again, no intro course, straight into it. Lovely synths, interesting automation on that volume. Vocals on the sides. Yeah, it's just straight into it. There's no messing around. It's very professional. It sounds like a single that you'd hear from a well-to-do independent label. Yeah, interesting vocal texture as well. The guy's clearly got some technique. I'm liking just how energetic and it's not, I was going to say frenetic. That's not necessarily a positive adjective to apply to a song. It's just, it's kind of like a puppy who's happy to see you, that's that kind of energy about this track, despite the fact that it's about drama. Yeah, interesting vocal filter here as well. There's a lot going on. There's absolutely an awareness that nowadays you cannot afford to have anyone bored for a second. You've got to constantly have that person's attention and take them along for the ride. There's just so much competition and you can't take the listener for granted. Oh, going halftime. Yeah, of course, it's fairly quick, wasn't it? Fairly quick. There was no messing around with that chorus. I should also note, just before I forget, that this track has been produced by Nathan Bankston and Connor Weinstein from 137 Productions. So just to get that out of the way as well, this is a team effort. Okay, so this track is kind of reminding me of late 90s, early 2000s pop songs from boy bands and stuff like that. It's interesting that you got very modern sort of music production as well with these kind of 2010 elements and late 2010 elements like the rises and EDM synths and stuff like that and the drums and all that and the filter work and the voice modulation, all that kind of stuff. It's a nice combination of these different sort of components. And back to that bridge. Nice sub drop into this chorus. Hook line shoved in your face without it being obnoxious. Dynamic range. It's interesting. You know, like, it's interesting there with this dynamic range. It's clearly been mixed and mastered fairly well. A little bit of resonance in some of those basses, but that's okay. These headphones I'm wearing are very, very unforgiving. You've got those additional vocal fills in there, those little vocal runs. They sound more like an instrument than like a message board. You know, I dig it. I like it. The outro chorus is nice to have that additional sort of emphasis there. Wow, that was the song. That was the song. It just came and went, didn't it? Just came and went. There was absolutely no chill. It was just in and out. Wow, at 3 minutes 20. That's quite, seems like quite short, but at the same time, it said all it really needed to, didn't it? I'm going to try and do the conclusion like I did with the previous video where it's a lot more structured, but yeah, let's do that. Let's just do the structured outro. So we're going to go big screen. There we go. I'm big in the bottom now. Let's go. So, what do I think of this song? I think that the story of the song itself was about like a person or like a woman or whoever that's just really kind of two-faced or insane or just really difficult to deal with and just kind of creates conflict for the S and Gs. And they're a bit of a pain, and it's like, do I really want to deal with this person even though they're gorgeous and they're like an 11 out of 10 in every other area? You know, I think it's a story that a lot of people will be able to relate to. You know, there are a lot of people who have quirks, and some quirks are a lot more toxic than others. And the beauty of it all is that it's subjective, because everyone's complicated. Regardless of the complexity, the subject matter, it's clearly something that Danjul cares about quite a lot. And I think that emoting came through fairly authentically in the vocals. Clearly Danjul is a great vocalist. There was a lot of stuff I heard in there that was fantastic. I think his vocal technique was fairly solid. He just went between his head voice and chest voice like super easily. There was no notes that I heard where we were struggling or anything like that. Guy's clearly comfortable within his range, and the vocal modulation he had a little bit, so they were a nice touch. The rest of the instruments, you had a fairly, you basically had a 2 or 3 note bass line in most part, but what made the overall, the song so interesting, you know, like, because you had a bridge, you had a verse and a chorus, the ABC structure there, was just that there was just always so much going on, even if it was like, that structure was repeated with fairly similar themes for each section. Each of the verses, the bridges, and the choruses were so distinct that like it left you hungry for more when the next round came around and then the final one. I think by the time I'd heard the sequence 2 or 3 times, I was like, okay, I get a vibe for this song. I think I understand what the track is about. And of course, that's a blessing and a curse with a well-produced track, is that you hear the story clearly and you kind of get it and you're like, oh yeah, that was drama. And you know, I think there was a replay song on a track like this. You've got to be really careful because you've got to really do your best to make the listener feel something. I can kind of relate to it. It's like, it's at that point where the production is so clean that it sounds very like, it sounds polished. I think that it clearly displays the drama through the complexity of the arrangement and the different elements and the bits of tension and stuff in there. And the way that Danjul emoted was fairly well done. It's just at the same time when you've got it's sounding so clean, it's like there's drama, but it sounds like it's under control. So it's like you're kind of trying to. I think that's just the genre that we're in. Is that nowadays the amount of competition with pop music, especially since we moved on from the indie stuff in the mid 2010s, we've gone back to the electronic elements. It's especially with the trap and hip hop and all that kind of stuff recently in the late 2010s to early 2020s. Or the 20s. We're back in the 20s. Hopefully the 30s doesn't lead to a Great Depression, but we ain't there yet, so we'll find out when we get there. Yeah, I suppose I don't even know if that's constructive critique or anything like that. Just for me, it's clearly there's drama being sung about, and clearly the music is trying to communicate that. It's a weird thing that the production is so well done that it sounds almost too clean for me to feel as if there's drama. Does that make sense? I don't know, man. Like, I that's a compliment to the chef. It's just I sound like a boomer, man. As soon as you turn 30, you turn into a boomer. Don't get me wrong, I love like lots of different types of electronic music and stuff. Just subjectively, I suppose. When you're talking about feelings, that is subjective, isn't it? So, like I get to the last point, am I happy with how the song made how the song made me feel and all that? I think the song's fairly well written. I think that it's effectively done, and it's kind of like it's a 10 out of 10 in most areas, and I've gotten no real complaints about it. I don't know if it necessarily made me feel the way that Danjul felt. I can kind of imagine how Danjul feels from the way that he sung it and the way that the song was performed. I think this is a song where if it was performed live, that's where you'd really feel it. Does that make sense? Actually seeing Danjul go through this. That's the kind of thing I'd need from this. And that's the beauty of the time we live in. I think that's something that maybe Danjul might be worth looking into, is doing at least live video covers of these songs or performances, just to really see him go at it and have it sort of express himself visibly so that you get the whole entire experience. But all in all, I'm fairly happy with this track. I've got no real complaints about it. This is effectively my review of Drama by Danjul. It's blowing me away how succinct these reviews are when I actually structure my outros like this. It's awesome, dude. I feel like I've done an actual review. Thank you very much for watching this track, Drama by Danjul. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please do go show Danjul some love via his various social medias and over Spotify. And again, congratulations on the signing to Bentley Records. I wish you the best of luck, Danjul. And stay cool and stay safe. And please also remember to support your local musicians and artists at this point in time, as they need the help more than ever with all the crazy stuff going on in the world. Catch you next review. Spider hands up.